Good evening and welcome to another fantastic episode of the weekly Rapp with Vachon and Rapp. And I am the illustrious Frank Rapp.
And I am Matt Vachon.
And we are here on a special Wednesday because some asshole decided to work last Sunday, so we couldn't fucking record. So
Some
it's
people
all
work
good.
for
Yeah, well, I don't work at all. So, I steal money and make a good living. So it's fine. So we're going to talk AEW, the pay-per-view on Saturday. We're going to talk some sports, and we're going to make fun of LeBron James because that's what we do around here. Because I quote Stephen A. Smith said about, I don't know, 15 minutes ago, the Lakers are done and LeBron will never win another title as long as Golden State keeps winning. Mm-hmm. So we'll touch on that later. But he's not wrong.
No, well, yeah. I mean, the Lakers right now are nowhere near Golden State. You know, they're getting Clay back within the month, so
and they still have Wiseman injured. So
yeah.
When they get Clay and Wiseman back, they're going to be just as nasty as they are now. So good luck to everybody that wrote them off for the last couple of years. They're coming back with a vengeance, and Steph Curry is out basically out to prove that he's the best player in basketball right now.
Yeah.
And people want to argue with me about that because he's small, but right now he's the best player in basketball right now, hands down.
Yeah,
at least for the first 13 games of the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he carries them, and he's the best shooter I've ever seen in my lifetime. So
he hit some threes last night against Brooklyn. I wish I was that good.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I will say this though, if Anthony Davis becomes dominant Anthony Davis and actually gets in the fucking paint, doesn't get thrown out of games, that will help the Lakers, honestly.
Yeah.
And if LeBron's back healthy and Russell Westbrook stops turning the ball over, that's going to change some things. But as of right now, on November 17th, the Lakers have no shot to win anything right now unless they get their shit together.
Yeah. And they might, but it's, who knows?
We'll see. But anyway, moving on. So, did you watch the buy-in?
No.
Good. Me either. So, little known fact. So, I was late. I was 4 or 5 minutes late getting the Johns to watch the show I picked up my dad. So I went and got my stepdaughter and her husband a refrigerator and stove on Saturday. I had to go to Hamden and get my friend's trailer, then go to Brewer and load up the refrigerator and the oven. That was fun driving that home, I will say. Get it home, get it to their house, get the stove in, no problem because it's pretty light. However, getting the refrigerator up the back steps and on the back deck was a absolute fucking nightmare. I still have bruises on my arms. It was so much fun. And then getting it inside. Well, you had to take off all the handles and all the doors to get it inside. So I was late getting the Johns because I dropped off my friend's trailer, then realized, I forgot my glasses. So I had to go all the way back home, get my glasses, go get my dad. But we got there 8:05, right as, MJF and Darby Allin were kicking off. And all I can say about that match is, holy cow, what a match.
Yeah.
MJF is gold.
Yeah.
And Darby losing like that doesn't hurt him one bit.
No, not at all. No.
What are your thoughts about the match? Did you like it? Did you like how did you think that would actually open the show? Were you surprised or?
I mean, I guess I didn't know what would open, but AEW tends to open pretty strong. So I was, but I did like the match, and I just we've talked about it before, but Darby takes so many fucking nasty bombs.
I think the quote was over under Darby's done in 8 years. I think we all said under the way he takes bumps.
Yeah. But yeah, it was great. I love MJF, and so I thought that was a good match to open with. So
I don't like the unnecessary spots on the mat on the apron though. that's the hardest spot of the ring. Like I'm over people doing spots on that, but Adam made a good point. Kevin Owens started doing that shit, and then everyone
Yeah,
followed suit. So it's like,
yeah,
oh, okay. I just some of that stuff. I'm just like, I don't need to see this, and this isn't like I mean, yes, Darby took a flat back bump on that, but still, that's still like,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me being the crotchety old man that I am, but I just am like, whatever. I
Yeah,
mean, Sting coming out and beating up Wardlow and Sean Spears makes them look like shit, but
yeah.
it's a good distraction for the heel to win and hit him with the ring and put it back down and down by his
Yeah.
dick. So
It's kind of fun, I mean, he's been using the ring gimmick for quite a while.
year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Well, that's the only title he's going to win right now, so I might as well just keep using
yeah,
it.
yeah, right, right.
Um, so we move on to FTR and the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah.
Um, I love FTR. I did not like this match at all.
Well, yeah, same thing. I was like, this is gonna be this. I was like, this could end up being the match of the night. Like, going into it, that was my thought. But and I let I don't know. It was just like it was like blah.
Yeah.
It was just like I was like, man, two like really good, tag teams, and it just wasn't. I don't know.
It didn't mesh well for me.
Yeah,
Apparently one of the FTR guys got hurt halfway through, and it just I don't know. It just didn't work for me. Like they did the whole mask thing and they pinned
yeah,
the wrong guy.
yeah,
Does that play into something tonight on Dynamite?
yeah,
I just think the wrong team won. And you know, the last couple of weeks I thought they booked FTR pretty good. And
yep,
then who they piss off yet on the day of the show to fucking lose like that because it was just out of
yeah,
nowhere and didn't make a lot of sense.
yeah,
I'm just confused. Like, who did FTR piss off to get in this shitty position? Because we've said it on this show, we've said it for the last year of this podcast or whatever the fuck we call this thing. They're the best tag team out there now, and they get used like shit. So
yeah,
I'm I don't even I don't know. Like I just don't
yeah,
know. I literally thought at one point they were gonna win, but they did the brain buster or something like that, and they got a 2 count, and I'm like, oh, that could be over, but nope.
yeah,
So flat finish, the crowd was dead.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I I mean, Telly does nothing for me now. He's really slow. He just doesn't. I mean, unless that's what his thing is, but he does nothing for them. They should bring Cornette in and be their new manager.
yeah. But
Wouldn't that be
that'll never
something?
happen.
Be
That'd
like,
be
hey,
awesome.
be
Never
like,
happen.
listen, Tony, you already hate us now, so can we bring Cornette in to hate us even more?
Yeah,
I mean, that would be something that never would happen, but because Cornette's never going to leave his house, but
right, right.
it would be something. Whatever.
Yeah,
Match 3 was probably one of my favorite matches of the night. Miro and Brian Danielson.
yeah,
If they can book Miro like that every time going forward, they need to. He was a fucking killer in that match, and it looked believable
yep,
and it was great.
yep,
Him selling the neck thing too, that he had a weak neck, I
yep,
love. However,
yep,
don't do it with a normal jobber on TV. Do it with like a main eventer, like a Bryan or a Punk,
yep,
or
yep,
not even Pockets because he's not even a main eventer. But people like that caliber, that could be his weakness to them, and
yeah,
that would make sense. But if he does it to like a normal jobber like you and me, it makes zero sense.
yeah, right.
I thought that match was great. I mean, again
Yeah,
though, it's another flat finish that just kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like,
yeah,
this. Like I looked up and it was like, oh, match is over. I'm like, what? That was the finish? Really? Like it just again, it was one of those. It just kind of came out of left field. I thought.
yeah. Well, and I think and like I love the match, but then it was like I was like, well, shit. I thought it meant, well, Kenny's gonna win now.
Yeah, I said that as soon as it happened.
Yeah, and so that's why I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of like shit. So I wonder if other people had that same like letdown feeling that they're like, oh fuck, Kenny's gonna win.
I'm pretty I'm pretty sure that was the consensus in the room. I mean, the four of us immediately thought, my dad
Yeah,
even said, "Oh, because there's no way Hangman wins now." Like
yeah,
like, and I'll tell you what he
yeah,
said after, after the fact, but he was like, "There's no way." And we all
yeah,
said it. We're like, "Yeah, that's just,
yeah,
we said it last week. I said it to you, you said it to me. Like, yeah, if,
yeah,
we'll know who and
yeah.
and again,
So uh, so I wonder how many people in the audience had that same feel, and
probably
that's
everybody.
yeah. So
I mean, but if you listen to Tony's comments after the fact, they already had this already built in. So,
yeah,
which I'm like, okay, but whatever. Um, match 4, we get the boy and his dinosaur and the cage against 2 fucks and a coal.
yeah. Uh, and you were right. Like, uh, Jungle Boy is super over. Like, yeah, like I guess I don't know. I never really paid attention to it as much
No,
as I do now, but it's like holy fuck, like everybody's
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that, and
As soon as I went to that live Dynamite and saw it, and I said it, and you were, and I mean, I had the video to prove it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, "This is for real!" Like the whole, I don't know, the seats 10,000. There's probably 7 in that place, and the whole place is just doing. And
yeah,
I'm like, I'm sitting there going, "Is this fucking for real?" Like this guy's
yeah.
like, no,
I like that
again,
match. Okay.
it was
Uh,
okay. It wasn't
yeah,
great. It was okay.
yeah. I
Cold
didn't like
blooded
the
gusher.
thumbtacks in the mouth.
Yeah, it was great.
I was like, oh god.
I thought it was gummy bears.
Yeah,
I thought it would be
yeah,
gummy bears because they've done that before. So,
yeah,
cold blooded gusher,
yeah,
which really wasn't a gusher. It was more I think it was um the blood capsules because there wasn't really a cut and it wasn't really dripping anywhere. Same thing with somebody else. We'll talk about that too. It was okay. It wasn't.
yeah,
I mean, the dinosaur did his flipperoos, and
yeah,
it's nice to see Jungle Boy get a win.
yeah,
But again, the $100,000 question is, what do you do now?
yeah. Right.
And I don't have the answer. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah,
yeah. I think if you want Jungle Boy to actually like do something with, you have to break him away from the dinosaur, and like he's got to be his own thing. I
yeah,
mean, he's talented enough to carry himself. He doesn't.
yeah. He just can't talk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He needs a manager for him to talk for him, and there's
yeah,
no face manager right now. So,
yeah.
um, what else? I was gonna say something. I just completely lost it. Oh well, that's not a big deal. Um, oh, it went too long.
Yeah.
Way too
There were
long.
a few matches that went too long.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the match before that went too long too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Brian
not,
again.
not the Daniel Bryan match. Sorry. Uh,
FTR's
like I
match
think,
went too long.
yeah,
Darby and MJF was perfectly fine.
yeah, that was fine. Yeah,
Um, but
but yeah, that match went too long, like way too long. And it's because the Young Bucks were in it, and
we gotta
all
get
their
the
matches
in.
go way too long.
Yeah. Did you like the thumbtack knee brace thing there or whatever? Knee pad?
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like, I was like, yeah, it's like that's what.
We do that on a regular Saturday night. So I don't
Yeah,
understand what the big
yeah, like all my knee pads have thumbtacks in them. So
well, why I mean, of course you gotta protect yourself delivering that mail. So
yeah, so
um
dogs,
match
man.
5 was Cody and Pack and
Yeah,
Malachi Black and Ric Flair's son-in-law.
Yeah.
Andrade.
Yeah. It was a yeah, I don't know, just such an interesting combination of people.
Yeah, it's a really weird combination of people.
Yeah. Um yeah, and again, like that match was like fine, but not yeah,
It
exactly.
wasn't
You know.
anything. It wasn't anything. It wasn't really anything. I mean, it makes sense for them to, to do this, but
Yeah.
four guys come together. Pac and Cody. I mean,
Yeah.
the best thing was when Arn Anderson beat up that guy and the place went crazy. I mean, that was the best. That was the best part about the whole thing, really.
Yeah, right, right.
I mean, anything Arn Anderson does is great now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, next was the women's match, and I
Yeah.
hated it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I knew she wasn't gonna lose, so
well,
it's like,
no, not the Ty Conte.
yeah,
It just wasn't. It just
yeah,
wasn't good.
yeah,
Um, next we had Punk and Eddie.
yeah. And I like that one.
That was great.
Yeah,
Again, Punk bled a gusher,
yeah,
but it looked like it was a blood capsule again,
yeah,
which is fine.
yeah.
Did you notice he paid homage to John Cena? Yeah,
No,
yeah. Eddie was on the ground and he went up to do this, and it was the homage to.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I didn't catch it.
I didn't. Yeah. I didn't catch it at first, and then Adam said it, and then I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
He dedicated that match to Eddie, and
yeah,
because as people know, as probably a lot of people don't know, Eddie died in Minneapolis
yeah,
all those years ago, and lots of people dedicated lots of stuff to Eddie that night, including Chris Jericho, which we'll get into.
yep,
That match was what it was. It was hard hitting. It was great.
yeah.
Um,
It was like 11 minutes long.
yeah,
It was,
and they beat the
it was
shit out of
great. It
each
was
other.
just like bang, 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 boom. You know.
It was the best wrestling match on the card
Oh
behind
yeah,
Bryan and Miro.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like 1A and 1B. That's how close
yeah,
it is in my mind.
yeah,
It was everything. It delivered. It was a
yeah,
hot angle going in. The crowd was split, which we have
yeah,
not seen yet.
yeah, yeah,
And then the question of the room was, when do they turn Punk heel? And my question was, when this shit runs out, which will be like a year from now.
yeah,
Until then, you leave it the fuck alone, and then it will make him that much more better as a heel if you just let this ride its course. Don't turn him now, because it's not going to do any good. Give it a year, and then you have Punk be the monster heel that he is, and cuts those promos, and then cuts everybody down, and it will be fucking gold.
yeah. But yeah, like you said, the split crowd, it was let's go Eddie, CM Punk, let's go Eddie. You know, yeah, it was yeah, it was cool. But yeah, I really like that one. That was I mean, maybe my favorite match of the night. I don't know.
Um,
As we move forward, I like the next ones too.
oh, of
So
course you fucking like the next one.
yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah, you liked it and I hated it. So of course. This fuck.
I liked it because you learned stuff.
Oh yeah. I
The
learned all kinds of
toaster,
shit.
the toaster was invented in Minnesota, and the hockey stick.
The football was too, apparently.
Well, yeah, that was like,
That was like, what?
yeah. So, the bun cake pan or whatever, bun cake, whatever.
God. Yeah, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about the Minnesota street fight between the dinner circle and American Top Team.
Yeah.
It was everything it lived up to be. I thought it was terrible, and you thought it was great as usual, because we disagree on all this shit. hence why we get along so well. Uh, um, so basically, backstory was Dan Laber's been calling people out for like the last like 2 months. It seems like Jericho answers the bell. They do this fucking schmoz thing. Last week they beat the living shit out of them on Dynamite, leave them laying. The problem I had with that was nobody came out to help. No referees came out to help. So like it's completely fucking phony and no one fucking cares. If wrestlers came in and referees came in, it would be more believable, but it is what it is. This is wrestling in 2021, whatever. Basically they hit each other with everything under the sun. Sammy Guevara climbed up to a ladder and did a stupid fucking ladder spot through a table. Junior Junior Del Santos looked like, I don't know, he just looked okay, I think.
Yeah.
At least his punches were actually connecting this week, unlike it was on Wednesday where he wasn't hitting anybody. I don't know. It is what it is. Jericho gets his victory and gets to go on tour and be gone hopefully for a while.
Yeah.
What happened to the Pinnacle?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not really. It lasted like a month and then it was like not a thing anymore. Okay. Yeah.
All right, because we asked that same question. Where's the Pinnacle?
Yeah.
We're all like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That whole thing just kind of died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Jericho pins Lambert, does a frog splash, tributes to Eddie, says he loves him, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
She said, "You love you, Eddie."
Yeah.
And he like made sure the hard cam was on.
Did it.
Then he did it again. Yeah.
Did it again like 30 times. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
I got nothing else. I got nothing else. Like I got nothing.
Like I said, I enjoyed it because you learned stuff. And
yeah. Learn not to have a match. Yeah, it's great. Learn not to have Andre Orlovsky in a fucking wrestling match.
Well, yeah, Jesus Christ.
Or Jake Hager for that matter.
Yeah, like he was like,
he's awful.
Yeah, he was like non-existent in that match. Like, really.
Junior Del Santos looked good.
Yeah,
and I don't want to say that out loud.
For a little while too.
I know, but he actually looked pretty good.
Yeah,
and I hate to admit that shit, but he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we get the main event of the night.
Yeah.
Which was an instant classic and an absolute fucking banger.
Yeah.
Did not see it coming. Did not expect it to happen, but Hangman is your champ. He beat Omega. Omega's run just under a year comes to an end. And the place went crazy for it. And everybody, me, John, Adam, and my dad, basically all said we did not see this coming.
Yeah.
Because my question to you is, what the fuck are you going to do now?
Yeah.
You have a face of Bryan Danielson who won the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament by beating Miro. Then you have a face beating your heel champion in Adam Page.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me in February or March of next year, we're going to have face versus face for your title?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, unless someone's going to turn heel, but unless they do the Hogan Warrior thing, I just don't know or understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
When it comes to this part, because I just don't get it.
Yeah. And I like, it was like, I think it was like Bully Ray who said, he's like, well, you have Omega win and then you do something, maybe it's a screwy finish or whatever, but then he wins on Wednesday night when they were in Virginia, like his hometown, I think that would have been cool, but I was just surprised. Like, it's not like, their storyline is pretty long between the two of them. But I was still kind of surprised. But I love Hangman, so I was happily surprised. But I don't understand, like you said, I don't understand, Danielson versus Hangman, like how, because that's not Warrior Hogan to me, but
it's not. But that's the only analogy I can really give you.
Yeah.
Because you could say Punk Cena, but Punk was always a tweener. So
Yeah, right. Yep, right. And neither one of those guys is a tweener right now.
no, they're both faces and they're both over like Rover.
Yeah.
And some people want to argue that Hangman's more over than Bryan.
Yeah, I think he is right now.
So I don't know. Look, I guess Omega's been dealing with some injuries, get him off TV, get him healed up for a while. Looks like the Bucks are kind of back with Hangman, I guess, because they each gave him a little bit of a nod.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they came out, my dad goes, "Uh-oh, here we go."
Right.
And then they didn't do shit. They just gave him like a,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and then he hit the shot and it was over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not happy, but the old school of me is like, okay, what are you gonna do now?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I guess I don't know. Like Brian won't get his revenge on Omega going to that draw, and I just don't. I don't. I just don't. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I can know, all I can say is hopefully Survivor Series on Sunday will make up for it, but it won't because it'll just break my heart. So it's okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna watch?
Survivor, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big four. Of course I will. I'll have it.
Yeah.
On.
Right.
I don't. I really. I mean, I follow what they're doing, but I don't watch it every day. So, I mean,
It'll be
we'll
interesting
see.
to see who they cut after after Survivor Series. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued about Big E and Roman. I think that could be
Yeah.
really good. Um, I mean, Damian Priest is fighting Shinsuke. I mean, that could be okay if given enough time. I mean, I don't really care about the Survivor Series. I mean, the traditional stuff because I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I know, but the Usos are fighting somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know, RK Bro and RK Bro. That could be okay. Orton looks like a porn star with his mustache and goatee now, so it's kind of hilarious to be him paired up with Riddle. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm more intrigued about Ruthless Aggression Series Season 2 coming out this weekend. That debuts on Sunday, and then the rest of this series comes on Monday. Jeff Hardy's on the Broken Skull sessions coming up, so that could be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because Austin's so good interviewing people, so I wonder what they're
Yeah.
going to touch on. Like maybe, hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully they touch on some of his drug stuff because I want to hear some of that stuff because that's stuff that he should, not that he should talk about it, but he probably needs to talk about it because that's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that
Yeah.
it made him look like shit, especially in TNA when he
Yeah.
came out and he couldn't
Yeah.
perform. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to get some of that stuff, but they might not touch it because it's a WWE and they want to be PG. So,
Yeah. Right.
um, you know, I don't know. Like I said, it's one of the big four.
Yeah.
I'll have it on. I mean,
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football, I think, is like Pittsburgh and somebody, so it's like, Pittsburgh and the Chargers. So it's like, I really don't care.
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
Mhm.
The team that tied the fucking line.
Yeah, and TJ Hawkinson from Detroit had 0 fantasy points,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
played basically 5 quarters.
Well, yeah. Well, they said 5 quarters, and I saw some like really sad statistic about Jared Goff that was like, yeah, they played an overtime period, and he had one drive, or somebody had like a long pass, or there was like something, and he still ended the game with like 138 yards pass, like something dumb. But I was like, Jesus Christ, like what? I mean, I didn't watch that game because I mean, the Patriots were on, and I mean, I can think of a million other reasons why I wouldn't watch that game anyway. But
Why not?
uh, I don't like the Steelers, and
Why, you don't
I
think
just
Mason Rudolph's a good quarterback?
well, I think he is. I think he's a great guy, but
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah, yeah, I think yeah, I think they brought in Haskins too, didn't they?
Yeah,
Like, is he still on the team or
he's the third stringer.
third string? Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
So I don't think Mason Rudolph's the heir apparent.
no,
So
They missed an opportunity on a quarterback this past year. So
Yeah.
but overall, thoughts about the pay-per-view. What do you think?
Overall, I thought it was a good pay-per-view.
Oh,
It's
we
like,
forgot to mention they had a special guest.
oh right, Jay
And
Lethal.
it wasn't Leo Rush.
Yeah.
Damn. So Jay Lethal was signed. What do you think of
Yeah.
that?
Um, it was okay. It didn't move the needle like too much for me, but I thought, I was expecting maybe somebody bigger, but
Like who? Oh, window rotunda,
yeah.
maybe.
But still, it was like, I mean, that's fine. I mean, but still, like I said, he doesn't move the needle much for me. He's a good wrestler, but I don't know. I mean, he's kind of been kicking around for a long time now at this point, and
Yeah.
so
So he's officially done. He's officially done with Ring of Honor.
yeah,
He will not be at Final Battle in December. He is officially done. He's signed with All Elite Wrestling. So Jay Lethal signing, that more or less tells me that. So basically, how it plays out to me is, so when Ring of Honor comes back, they're not going to sign anybody to contracts. They're just going to bring in. They're just going to bring in people like on a per night basis, and that's how they're going to run their shit going forward.
yeah.
I hope they bring in Brody King, as Adam stated a bunch of times on Saturday, which I totally agree with. He made a good point.
So
he made a good point. He goes, bring Brody in with Malachi Black, and that would make all the sense in the world, because they both have tattoos. They both have the same style of haircut. They're both kind of the same wrestler. One's a little bit bigger. They do the same style.
Yeah.
They're already the PWG tag team champions out in California. It would make all the sense in the world. But Brody was wrestling for New Japan on Saturday night in San Jose, so that's why he wasn't there.
Gotcha.
But I
that's
mean,
probably they would have rather have had, instead of Andrade.
Yeah.
So
look, I don't get why people like Andrade. Sucks.
Yeah.
He's not good.
No, I mean, I think with him is you sign him in hopes of he can it somehow entice Charlotte to go when she's if and when she leaves WWE.
Well, I'll tell you this: Charlotte Becky on Sunday could be a complete fucking shit show, because they're both not happy with each other right now. So that could go off the rails real fast.
Right.
So, and I kind of hope it does, because I want to see Charlotte out of the WWE.
Yeah. Right. But then
Andrade
she goes
sucks.
to WWE. I mean, if she were to go to AEW, I mean, she would just steamroll everybody.
I mean, I'd love to see Charlotte and Britt Baker have a program.
Yeah.
But again, the issue becomes, like she's done in the WWE for so long, she kills everybody, then she has nobody left.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, we've said this before. I mean, there's 170 people that got released in the last 2 years from the WWE. AEW can't sign everybody. So, I mean, there's going to be good people out there that don't get a contract. So,
I
mean, they only have 2 shows a week realistically, because no one watches their YouTube shit. I don't care what anybody fucking says.
Yeah. Right.
So, if you watch their YouTube shit, then you don't have a fucking life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't watch their YouTube shit, and I have a pretty decent life, and I love wrestling, but I don't watch their YouTube shit. So,
yeah,
I think I watched one YouTube show that was when Moxley was on at the way back when, and then I watched a second YouTube show when I actually saw it live getting taped in front of me. So that's pretty much it.
That's which was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and the best part about that was I got to see FTR live. I'm like, oh, this is like totally made my night. So
yeah.
But anyway, that's it. Pay-per-view was good. It was good.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's tough because the last one was so good,
Yeah. All Out was so good.
Yeah. So it's like I mean, you're always going to get a little bit, with a show that good, you're always going to get like let down on the next one. So just because you can't have, I mean, you just can't have every pay-per-view be I mean, it'd be awesome if it were better and better, but that one was so good that tough to beat.
It's not that I was let down. I was just like, I don't know, like All Out felt like it wasn't. It's weird. Like I felt All Out went smoother. It
Yeah.
didn't feel as
Oh yeah.
long. This pay-per-view felt like it dragged.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I normally don't say that about AEW, but this one felt like it dragged to me. Look,
Yeah.
it's cool that you go to a 12 o'clock, but
Well, like for me, so I started watching it. I fell asleep for 2 hours and I woke up and the main event was on. so, so I watched the main event live and then I went back to sleep. And then I got up, yeah, and then I didn't watch it the next day. I'd had to finish it Monday, but yeah. But yeah, it's same thing. It was just like it was just very long, you know. It felt that way to me too. Even like watching it back, I was like, okay,
well, when the Bucks have a 30-minute match, that doesn't mean shit. That's a lot
yeah,
of problem.
right.
I will say this: I did watch my first Being the Elite episode in probably 5 years
Yeah, why?
because I want to see the Hangman stuff at the end.
Yeah, how was it?
They all gave him a standing ovation in the back, and
Yeah.
Brian Danielson even gave him a hug.
Hmm. I wish maybe they wouldn't videotape like everything.
Mhm. They did go to the Mall of America though.
Yeah.
There's a roller coaster in there.
Oh yeah, they got fucking. They have like everything in there.
It's like it's like a Nickelodeon like arcade center, like
Yeah.
amusement park. It's really weird, but
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's still no Bangor Mall. All three stores that are left in the Bangor Mall are doing really well.
Dick's, Pennies, and Lids.
Yeah.
Hot Topic's still there though,
Yeah. Hot Topic. Yeah.
but no place to really go buy basketball shoes except for Dick's.
Yeah.
Because Finish Line's gone, Olympia's gone, and Foot Locker's gone.
Foot Locker's gone too now.
Yeah.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So I can't go buy my overpriced Kobe's or Jordans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta buy them online.
Yeah.
Even though right now there's no Kobe's because he's not with Nike anymore. So
No. So you have to overpay for him on eBay.
yeah. Or cry when I don't get him last Christmas for like a Grinch instead. Oh.
Yeah, I was just gonna see what the Kobe Grinch shoes are going for on eBay right now.
Don't look. Don't look. I looked the other day and I almost threw it in my mouth.
Oh, really?
I think they're like $800. I think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, in size 11, so it's like, yeah. Yeah, it's like $650.
Yeah, look up size 14.
Yeah. Yeah, even less produced than the 14.
Yeah, no shit.
600, 800,
Yeah.
770,
Yeah.
$2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Hey, can I borrow $800 to buy a pair of shoes for Melissa?
They're pretty cool shoes, though.
Take out a loan to buy a pair of shoes.
Yeah. God damn.
Man, can you imagine?
Well, yeah, I can imagine, but yeah.
So today is the 25th anniversary of The Rock's debut at SummerSlam 1996. Yeah. Even though he debuted 2 weeks before in dark matches, this was his official TV debut 25 years ago today.
It's SummerSlam or Survivor
Series. Yep.
I was like, yeah. Yeah. No shit.
Yeah. And this was Brett and Steve's first quote unquote televised match, even though they had one in Kuwait in June.
Yeah.
So they were both on the bump today. I watched that while I was working. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Yeah, I have a hard job, folks. So, yep. 25 years ago. We were both
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You were a sophomore and I was a freshman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here we are all these years later, bald and talking about it. Who would have ever thought that, right?
The Rock's, bigger today than he was, even at his peak in WWE. So
Oh yeah, The Rock's making money hand over fist.
yeah. So just crazy in 25 years. The arc of his career, pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, think about it. He had more hair then.
Yeah. Smaller.
Small, way smaller. Younger.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool. I know it's so fucked up. Like all these things keep coming up, like 25th, 30th anniversary, stuff like that. Like I got an email. It was like, oh, the new 30th anniversary edition of the U2 album Octung Baby. And I was like, wait, I was 10 when that album came. I seemed like I was
Oh
a
yeah.
lot old.
Isn't this the month when isn't this where the month 30 years ago when Nevermind came out too?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking it's crazy. Like it blows my mind. It's like, oh shit. I am getting old.
Dude, we're not getting any younger. So
Yeah. But yeah, it's just I hate all those things that I was like, 25, 30 year.
well, think about it though. We're celebrating 30 years of a Nirvana album, and Kurt Cobain's been dead since 93 or 94.
Yes. 94, yeah. So yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like it's crazy to think about like what would have been if he was still been alive.
Yeah. If Courtney Love didn't have him killed, it would have been
Allegedly.
allegedly.
According to the rumors on the street. So
yeah. According to multiple documentaries and books that I've read.
even the one on HBO said it, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, the HBO one was like, but yeah, whatever. The bottom line doesn't change that he's not here anymore, but
no, it doesn't. No.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy, I mean, there's a lot to. I think it would have been completely. I think he was done with Nirvana after In Utero. I think that was the last album he was gonna do. I think he was like, well, this wasn't, and I think he would have taken time off and then would have come back with like something different, But
well, did Unplugged in New York come out before In Utero or after? Were they on the same? Were they around like the same time?
Yeah, well, they were. I mean, it's within the same year of each other. I don't remember which was first.
I think he was. I think he was done when he did that recording.
Yeah.
I think once they did that album live, I think that was when I think he knew he was done.
Well, they couldn't even find him like the day of the show.
No.
He was just like he took off, and so it was a big thing of was he even going to show up for this thing?
Right.
But
right. Yeah, so, he showed up. He showed up and cut the fucking album of his fucking life.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like none of those other ones, like Nevermind was, but I'm just saying though, like that version of him to be unplugged like that and to be that honest with everybody between everything that people don't like think about. Yeah. That was one of the greatest things that he's ever done. And then he was dead. What?
Yeah.
3 months later.
Yeah.
I think, right? 3 months later, 4 months later.
Yeah, it was like I don't have the timeline remember, but it's all like within like a year, everything was fucking
everything changed.
Like, yeah. So, because Nevermind was I mean, it was just I don't remember.
Do you think because they got hot so fast that he didn't know how to handle it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Christ, no one expected them to be what they were. I mean, they originally pressed like 30,000 copies of Nevermind.
Yeah,
and it sold like because the way record sales, they printed 30,000 of them, but then the record stores all did their orders and everything, and they needed over 300,000. They were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I mean, because the Bleach before, I mean, Sub Pop, a small label in comparison to Geffen, but um, I mean, sold, modestly. It was a regional thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It was a Seattle thing.
yeah, and so they, I mean, no one thought it was going to do what it did as quick as it did, and then
Well,
but then it was just like, yeah, and then nobody knew how to handle it. So
what helped them too was this was a time when MTV was actually having music videos,
oh
and
yeah,
the video to "Smells Like Teen Spirit" is iconic,
yeah,
and that album cover is still
yes,
iconic to this day.
yep, yep, yep,
I mean, never in a million years would you in 1992 or whatever it was, 91, you'd have a
yeah,
naked baby as an album cover.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah. um
imagine getting that. Imagine getting that in your stocking. Oh, here's a new Nirvana album, naked baby on the cover.
yeah,
When you're
yeah,
fucking like when you're like 10.
yeah. I had it on cassette, but
I think I had. When did I get it? I don't think I got it till after he died.
oh really? Yeah. See, I got it when it was, because it was like cool, but I ended up going back later. I was at Amoeba Records in San Francisco, out in California, and I picked up one of the original press CDs of that first original 30,000 run. So, and not super rare, but just a cool thing
Is that
to.
worth anything now?
I don't know. Maybe probably. I think I saw him going for like 60, $75, something like that. But I paid
So,
like 30 for it.
so at that point, just hang on to it then.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah. So I mean, I mean, they were just so big, and then even Weird Al put down now. you know, um, his album cover was mocking the
Yeah,
Nevermind.
yeah, and he made a killing.
Yeah.
Weird Al
So,
made a killing on all that stuff back then, though.
oh yeah, everybody, but it was just like they just were such a huge thing. So
They look. I'll say this with all due respect to everybody. They were like Steve Austin was. They had their
oh
short
yeah,
run, and it
yeah,
blew up, and then it was over.
yeah,
And that's no disrespect to anybody else because I love Steve Austin just like you do. We both love Nirvana. I'm just saying they had their short run, and then
yeah,
Nirvana's was because he killed himself, and Steve Austin's was because he got dropped on his head, and
yeah,
then came back, and then had to have more neck surgery. Then he was just never the same. So
yeah, yeah,
think about that in a wrestling sense. If they would have still been if Steve Austin never got dropped on his head, how long of a fucking run would he have actually had? And if Kurt Cobain never killed himself, how many more fucking great albums would they have put out?
yeah, yeah,
And that's the questions we're never going to get answers to because that's just how it is.
yeah,
We
yeah,
can talk about it all day. We could change our podcast to talk about Nirvana, and we'd have stuff about Nirvana forever.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we could do a Steve Austin podcast for months and months and months and have all kinds
yeah,
of shit because it's
yeah,
just but their run at the top was so short, but it was so impactful and meaningful that it's never going to be topped.
yeah, yeah.
Really, think of so
Yeah, my friend Freeman, like he was like still kind of is, like, whenever I talk to him, but kind of like my music guru. Um, because people looked at me because I have a big collection,
yeah,
or I know a lot of different things, but so uh I have like, I mean, as far as collection wise, I have like maybe a third of what he has, and knowledge wise, he has about a billion times, what I have. But I remember I just talking to him about most important groups of decades and stuff like that. And this was like the early 2000s, and somebody was like, well, this, I can't remember what band he said, but they were like, this band is the most important band in the last 20 years. He's like, no, he's like, it's Nirvana. He's like, I don't even fucking like Nirvana. And he's like, they're the most important band, the last, 15, 20 years or whatever. So he's like, no, that's not, it's not even a debate.
right. And before that, it was probably the Beatles and the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. I mean, really, I mean, there are all kinds of things that I mean, there was a lot of like slow burn stuff that, became big, popular scenes, but I mean, that was just like, I mean, crazy. And that changed everything. Like,
Oh yeah.
uh, but I don't know. There's like, I can go down this wormhole all day about, but when that, people always say, well, Nirvana killed hair metal and stuff like that. And it wasn't, it was, hair metal had just gotten too big and bloated, and the albums that these bands were making weren't any fucking good anymore because they were so drugged out and everything. So it was just like the right combination of that came in, but also like that's when fucking hip hop like blew up too. Like as soon as like the Chronic and Doggy Style came out, that fucking like opened the gates too. And this is all like in the same
Right.
time frame.
Yeah.
So
Well, and think about this too. So Nirvana, Metallica in 1990 put out the Black Album.
yep.
They toured on that for 3 or 4 years, or 3 years. Came out in '94 with Load with short fucking hair, and that's when everybody said, "You guys killed."
Yeah.
And it was like, and like, you guys sold out, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No, we cut our hair.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Nirvana probably did help change that, but people thought Metallica killed it too in '90 when that, you know what I mean? Because that came out and everyone was like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" Like, no one knew who the fuck they were because they didn't have long hair.
Right.
Like, it's just
Yeah.
it's just funny how like people take that and twist it. Like,
Yeah.
but think about all the albums from '90 to '94. Like Metallica in '90,
Yeah.
Nirvana '91, Dr. Dre in what, '92? The Chronic came out in '92. Doggy Style came out in '93. Like, those are iconic albums that just changed everything. So
yeah, well, and people shit on the Black Album so much because they were just like, wow, they're like, oh, it's this polished out, this isn't fucking dirty Metallica from, Kill 'Em All and everything, or the previous albums, and it's like, yeah, okay, sure, it's a better produced album than those previous ones, but also imagine that was Metallica's first album. Like people would be like, "Holy fuck!"
yeah,
Like, but even now, it's like finally like that album, uh, is getting more of the respect like it deserved. Like, I mean, it sold 1 billion copies. Like, it was plenty popular, but there were people love to shit on that record. It's like, okay, well, tell me a fucking bad song on that album.
There wasn't one. And
like,
think about this though. Before that album, who produced their shit? A bunch of nobodies. Rick Rubin produced the Black Album.
No,
it wasn't Rick Rubin. It was who was it?
God damn it!
Oh, Rick Rubin was a rap guy.
Yeah, Rick.
Who is it? He has really
Bob Rock.
There you go. So before Bob Rock came in, who produced their shit?
Well, and Bob Rock, like, I mean, basically they were working with people who were basically sound engineers. So they come in and they just, their big thing is, okay, just getting the recording on tape and making sure it sounds okay. Bob Rock was the first like producer they worked in that gave his ideas and input and said, no, don't do it this way. You do it. Why are you doing it this way? Do it this way. Do it, and so that, and even like all the Metallica guys were like, oh yeah, like you need a producer to be that person who isn't a fresh set of eyes. That's like, no, you're missing this one little thing that,
and that's what took them from here to here.
Yeah.
Even though Hatfield and Lars fought him on a lot of shit, that still to this day was probably their best album they've ever done.
Yeah, and they fought him, but they go back in retrospect to it and be like, yeah, you were right, we were dickheads.
Well, think about this though. How they think they were sober doing that album?
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
Trying to deal with 4 drunk guys as a producer.
Well, with pretty big egos too,
because of all the shit they've done before. And then you're coming in off the street going, no, do it like this, and it's going to sound better. And they're like, fuck you, you don't know anything. And they're like, oh,
Metallica. Yeah.
Yeah, we're Metallica. I'm James Hetfield. No, 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 no. Do it like this.
Yeah.
And then think about this too. 91, he walked into that fireball and basically almost blew up Metallica forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Like they had their sound guy playing guitar while he sang, trying to
yeah.
recover.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like Kurt Cobain kills himself, but then 2 years before that, James Hetfield walks into a fireball and basically is on fire.
Yeah.
And they could have been history at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we would never be talking about getting a Funko Pop from Walmart about Metallica and the Black Album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of Funko Pops, they have a rock one at Walmart exclusive. It's a Brahma Bull
Yeah.
for the 25th anniversary of his debut.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen that
He
yet.
had to pre-order it, so
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. So
Yeah. I got a Funko. I'll grab it real quick.
what'd you get? Yeah, sorry about the Rick Rubin thing. I forgot he did all the rap stuff.
Yeah, well, Ruben's done a lot of stuff. Yeah, he came up, he did like the Beastie Boys, but but he resurrected Johnny Cash's career. He did the Wildflowers album with Tom Petty. Like the guy's done like.
And he was Jim Cornette's backer in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. So, Pearl Jam.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So it's actually, so with the exception of Matt Cameron, it's everybody else is dressed like they were on the Pearl Jam Unplugged episode. So
that was another good album.
Yeah, that's a cool one too. So
that is so cool.
Yeah. So I got that.
Where'd you find that? At Bull Moose?
No, I got that off of their site.
You did?
They had a pre-order for it because I'm in the 10 Club, which is their fan club, and
of course
they did like a fan club.
Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? Right?
Yeah, but I got the rare zombie version coming too. They did like an exclusive thing through their website, so it's basically the same set, but they're all zombies. But
of course you have it coming.
Yeah,
of course. All right. Before we get out of here, so your favorite Survivor Series memories before this weekend?
Before this weekend?
Yeah, like before this weekend show comes on, because we're not going to record on Sunday. So
yeah,
like, what are your favorite moments as a kid? Like mine. Look, I'm a sucker for Survivor Series 1990.
Yeah,
and I have no idea why.
Well, I rented that one quite a bit, like as a kid. Like I remember.
So I watched that one last week in my office, and Dave Jeffrey comes in and goes, "Do you watch this all day?" And I was like, "Not all day, just most of the day." And he's just dying laughing at me. He's like, "Oh my."
Yeah.
I said it's more on for background noise.
Yeah.
I'm like, I rarely sit there and watch it because I'm like, I already seen it all. I just have it on because I'm doing stuff. So and it was just funny how he said it because his face was like all serious and then he just burst out laughing at me. I was like, whatever. I don't know. For some reason, that one, I'm a sucker for that one. I guess as a kid, I must have watched that all. I think I watched that all the time when I was a kid. Yeah. And I have no idea why.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say just because I haven't rewatched any of those old ones.
I mean, I remember I cried at 91 when Hogan lost to Taker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I remember going to, there was a bar in Dexter called like Anthony's Bar. They got the pay-per-view. So my dad took me and we sat at the bar in Anthony's and watched that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, I was like 10.
Yeah.
No, 9. I was 9. I cried. I'm like, man, because Taker to me was scary.
Yeah.
As a 9-year-old kid, like he was scary. Like, and I'll admit that now as almost a 40-year-old man. I was scared of him when I was a kid. Like he was scary. Like that was a scary character as a kid.
Yeah.
He beat Hogan because of Flair's interference. And I just like cry, like what? I was crying.
That was still to me, like when someone says Survivor Series, that's the image that pops in my head. Is Hogan Taker. Like really, I don't know. It was just such a big deal. Like I remember, I was getting WWF magazine at the time, like all, I just remember that period like really well.
Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
remember the first one,
yeah,
87, where they had like 30,000 guys, and the ring looked so small because everyone's on
yeah,
their apron. That was,
yeah,
but going back and listening to Bruce and Conrad talk about them on Thanksgiving night is like the fantastic. I put it on
yeah,
and listen. It's so good, like all the stuff they've done. But man, Survivor Series 87, I didn't really realize how bad it was till I watched it as an adult. That show is awful.
yeah. See, that's the thing. I've never gone back and watched any of the old Survivor series, like even the ones that I loved, like in their early '90s. So
You should
I know.
go watch the Screw Job.
Yeah, yeah,
I will say, if you do not listen to something to wrestle with Bruce Pritchard this week about the Montreal Screw Job, Gerald Briscoe's on at the end for like the last like hour,
yeah.
and it is some insight that you will never hear anywhere else, and it was fucking awesome.
Cool. I'll go back and listen to that. I skipped it because I saw a remix and I was like,
No, don't.
yeah,
It's so good. Gerald's so good. It's like the
yeah,
last hour and a half, and he tells his story, and
yeah.
it is something to behold. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I'm sure because I mean he was like one of like the 3 or 4 people that knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, because he had to go to Michael's
Yeah,
hotel room and teach him like, okay, if you get in this hold, how to get out of it.
yeah,
And he couldn't tell his three best friends until like the next day, and people were pissed off at him, and people were quiet, and then I'll let you listen to it, but it's really
yeah.
good.
Actually, yeah, I will go back for
It's
sure.
really good. So that was
Yeah.
yeah, that was really good. So let's see what else we got. We have Thanksgiving next week.
Yeah.
Um,
You call it Thanksgiving?
for now,
Yeah.
no, I'm not really a fan.
See, for me, it's like my favorite holiday because it's like I just wake up, eat, and then watch football.
No, my even my old crotchety age, my favorite holiday is still Christmas.
Yeah,
Especially now that I have my own child, it's a lot
yeah,
different now. With Barbie's kids before Brooklyn came, yeah, it was still special, but it wasn't what it was until we had Brooklyn.
yeah,
Because now it's yes, it's different as a stepdad, but it's more
yeah,
special now that you have your own child. And people that are
yeah,
step parents, they totally get they understand that, or parents in
yeah,
general. It's Christmas is still my favorite holiday. We'll start.
yeah,
I put out our Christmas tree out front, and it blew over the other day because of the wind. So I gotta put that back up. Decorate outside, all that stuff.
yeah,
Put some more lights up on the house. I'll be
yeah,
Clark. Brooklyn calls me Clark from my Christmas vacation. So
yeah. Nice.
I mean, that is me. So
Yeah,
I mean, Thanksgiving is okay. I mean, I'll get up, I'll go to Dunkin' on Ogden Road, get a coffee, go get the newspaper, give Barbie all the Black Friday ads, and not see her till probably like 3 o'clock on Friday. And apparently this year all the stores are going to open at 5 a.m., not midnight anymore. So
huh.
yeah, they did it. They did some last year too. So I would assume because of COVID. Um,
Yeah,
but I'll tell you something about COVID real quick if I can find it real quick in my email. I got an email today. Where is it? Oh, maybe I deleted it. I think I might have deleted it.
yeah.
It said something about Anthony Fauci says that COVID will be here until like 2022.
Sweet.
Yeah, because I want to listen to that stupid ass.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like that's what he says this week. What's he gonna say next week?
Next week we'll say that he doesn't know how old he is or anything. So whatever,
Yeah,
it's fine. Um,
exactly.
yeah, I don't know where it is. Anyway, one of my not necessarily heroes, but one of the guys I used to listen to with my dad when we would take trips to New Jersey. His name was Steve Summers. He was a radio DJ for WFAN in New York. He started there in 1987 when the station started. Well, he just retired a couple days ago. He was there for 34 years.
Yeah,
He worked like 11 o'clock at night till like 3 or 4 in the morning. So I would listen to him when we drive to New Jersey because we could get WFAN at night. and because I had a huge tower, we'd get it from the time we leave our house in Palmyra, and we get it all the way to New Jersey, and like because we'd leave at night. And used to listen to him. He was so great. He had such a cool voice. Um, he's retiring, and it's one of those things. It's like, damn, like, shit. This is I am getting old.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, and then it makes you think, like, man, like, I want to do that, but do you take that leap and be like, hey, I'm going to quit my job and go try to do this? Probably not, but just the idea.
yeah,
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I got nothing else.
yeah.
My
Yeah,
fantasy teams suck.
yeah.
Um,
We got
um,
all AEW in 24 minutes.
yeah. The only issue I have with tonight is Daniel Bryan has that great match with Miro, and now tonight he fights fucking Evil Uno.
Yeah. Well, that's how I was like, you sent me that text, and I was like, yeah, Danielson should like destroy him and pretty quick. But we'll see.
So
Probably,
do a favor, follow the AEW Botches account on Twitter. It's fantastic.
yeah. I'll check it out.
Yeah, you need to, because Wheeler Yuta last week against Wardlow, that was terrible.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
bad.
That was very bad. Yeah.
And I love Jim Ross's comments where I guess you shouldn't wrestle in tennis shoes.
Yeah, because it was the shoes. Yeah. 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 Terrible. But
And a little local news. Alec Price beat Anthony Green to win the Limitless title.
oh, he did. Yeah. So what's Anthony Green gonna do now?
Who knows? Hopefully signs with somebody.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard for me to get behind your 155-pound heavyweight champion, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But the best part of the whole night was after the match, he did a celebration, and JT Dunn and Ace Romero teamed up together and destroyed him and left him laying, because they have a faction in chaotic wrestling in Massachusetts called the Unit, and JT Dunn and Ace Romero are heels, and it looks like Ace Romero is now a heel at Limitless because they're bringing the Unit to Limitless.
No shit.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. He's a big dude. I wouldn't want him to be mad at me. But...
Nope, me either. And GCW ran 2 shows this weekend, one in Detroit and one in Chicago. Matt Cardona wrestled Friday in Detroit and lost to Alex Shelley.
He lost the belt?
No, he just lost just a match.
Gotcha.
And Chelsea Green, his fiance, wrestled too, and she has just as much heat as he does. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
They're the 2 biggest heels in GCW right now, and Chelsea Green had her first match.
I mean, was hers just a regular match, or was it like
no death matches for them? No.
Yeah. Okay.
There was 2 death matches on that card, and 2 of them were one death match was 2 chicks.
And I don't ever want to see, it's like I don't like seeing the men do it. I definitely don't want to see like the women.
Nope. And then one of the women was actually I think both women were in the Nick Gage Invitational Deathmatch tournament the next night.
Awesome. Stay in school, everybody.
Yeah, and the best part about the Nick Gage Invitational, Nick Gage didn't even wrestle in his own invitational.
No, really?
Yeah, he wasn't even booked all weekend.
Yeah. That's weird.
He hasn't wrestled since he lost to Moxley.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird. I wonder if he got hurt or something, or
I don't know. Unless they're just doing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Their next shows, I think, is in Texas in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Good for them.
They're one of the biggest indies right now, dude.
Yeah, I know.
What they do is they have all normal matches before, then they have their death matches at the end.
Yeah. which is smart, really. Because I'm sure not. I mean, I'm sure there's some of the fan. I don't know what percentage, but there's some that probably only want to see one or the other. Like us, I'd watch all the wrestling stuff and I'd leave before all the deathmatch shit. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can do without. Yeah. Like I can do like I wouldn't go to the Nick Gage Invitational Deathmatch tournament to watch all death matches. I mean, I'm pretty much good with that. So,
yeah,
especially taking place in more or less a high school gym. I'm good.
yeah, yeah,
If I want to go to a high school gym and watch people wrestle, let's go to a Brewer high school
yeah.
basketball game. So it's fine. Anyway, if you want to watch their games this winter, go to YouTube and search Brewer Witches Athletics. You can watch all their home games right on their YouTube page.
Perfect. I think I will.
Thanks to me because I helped set up the camera in the fucking gym. So you're welcome, Mr. Otterback.
Where's the camera?
It's so how it is it's called a huddle cam. So what it does is it follows the action because it's motion censored.
Yeah.
We put that in the winter right before COVID. They bought it over the summer, and then me and the maintenance guys went up on a fucking crane and installed it and ran an Ethernet cord from my switch room in the main office to that box because it needed a wired connection. So there's me up on a fucking lift with the maintenance guys, scared to death because I'm way up here.
Yeah.
Shaking it and getting it set up with my phone as an app. Because the only way to set up is through your phone.
Yeah.
Got it all set up, and then he streamed every home event for inside is streamed, even volleyball.
Yeah.
He streams everything. He's made his money hand over fist on that thing. So
yeah,
eventually we'll have to replace it at some point. But
man.
So I think it's only 3 years old right now, so it's pretty good.
So when there's a game going on, like, do you have to do any? It does its own.
He gets the feed from the camera and feeds it to his YouTube page.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, and then what they were doing too is
but nobody has to sit there and watch it or make sure everything's.
Nope. Huh. Nope. It's motion censored. So
yeah. And so, what is there for audio?
Nothing. Just what you hear on the court.
Okay.
So you hear the crowd, you hear the coaches, you'll hear the kids. Like last year was weird because all you could hear was nobody, more or less.
Yeah.
You just hear because it was a weird year.
So if I wanted to get near it and just swear all game really loud,
you can do that. Just sit up in the stands right up underneath it. You'd be all set.
Yeah,
my dad would love it. Yeah. You'd hear my dad playing his day if I was still in high school. So
yeah. Yeah.
Frank, is that your dad? Oh yeah. I mean, there was game tapes of me in high school where you could hear my dad yelling.
Yeah. No shit.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever heard your dad yell.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And the thing is, he wasn't really yelling at me. He was more yelling at the officials,
yeah.
which made it even worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, we moved when I was a junior to Brewer from New Palmyra, but I went to Nokomis. We played Nokomis in Newport my junior year. The first game of the year they beat us in Brewer. It was like February, January-ish, I think January. We went down there and played them on like a Thursday night. The place was packed. We beat them at home. It was their only loss at home the whole year, and the kids wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
Like I got booed out of the building every time I touched the ball.
Yeah. How many points did you have? Do you remember?
I don't know. 18 or 19.
Oh, really?
I think I had like 20 rebounds.
Jesus Christ.
I tried dunking over a kid.
Yeah.
I could never dunk. I just tried it anyway. So I want a fast break, and the kid gets in front of me, and I jump just over his head, and I hit his head, and they called me for an offensive foul, and I made the layup.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll never forget. Dave Paul goes, "What'd you do that for?" And I was like, "I want to see if I could dunk." And
Yeah.
he just starts laughing, and Mark Reed's laughing at me, and Gary Gagne's laughing at me. They're like, "You can't jump." I said, "Well, I tried." So, and that was my fourth foul, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Do not take me out." And he took me out, and I was so pissed.
Yeah.
And then he put me back in. Like he goes, "Do not." He goes, "Go back." So I went back in, and we were losing for a while, and they went into a zone. Well, they had a kid who was like 6'5". So I remember I got the ball on the baseline, and I did two floaters that more or less hit the ceiling, and they went in just to get it over the kid, and that
Yeah.
propelled us to victory. We ended up winning by like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to get escorted out of the building because they were going to kill me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the kid. We won. We shook hands and we sprinted to the locker room, and there was like not really a riot, but people were mad. So
Yeah.
we had to go out the back. Our bus had to drive around back to the back side of the school. We had to go out the back door and get us out of there
Yeah.
because they were so mad that they were so mad. So
Yeah. So did you ever dunk ever?
no,
No.
I know. No, I'll never.
I mean, not just in a game. I meant like ever.
No.
Like.
No way. Not even close. No, I just tried because my adrenaline was so high because I was like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I mean, tall, lanky, left-handed kid. I mean, I wasn't.
Got the height.
I was like 185, 190 pounds soaking wet back in the day.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, 275, pretty thick. But I guarded kids that were like 6'5" and 6'6" and held my own. I mean, fuck, I'm guarding Joe Campo, who's like 6'6", had a full boat in Maine for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like that was all kinds of fucking fun. So
yeah.
My
and how tall are you? Like what?
6'2".
6'2".
My senior year in Bangor at Redberry Gym, I went up for a rebound and Joe Campbell jumped over me and dunked it on me, and they called him for over the back. And I laughed. We were laughing the entire like running back. I had this shit-eating grin on my face, and he's just like, "You motherfucker," and I was like, "Sorry," like whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids from Presque Isle and Caribou, they were always fucking ginormous. So and there's me, skinny, just trying to, I guess, halfway tall, but not really. Guarding these kids that are like 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", and that was my life. So
yeah.
I mean, you remember I had Tim Hughes on my team when I was a junior.
Yeah, right.
And all Tim Hughes wanted to do was be a point guard and shoot threes. So
yeah.
I was the one.
That's all I wanted to do.
And I was the one doing all the dirty work. I mean, Tim Hughes would have 30 points, and I'd have like 12 points and like 30 rebounds.
Yeah, right.
And have fucking bruises like head to toe. And there's Tim Hughes like getting all the glory. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
remember that when people used to offensive rebound?
What?
Do you remember that when people used to offensive rebound?
That's all I did. That's all I did because, as the great Roger Reed said, he told me one time, I really know how to use my ass. And I said, no, thank you. I appreciate that. So, well, everyone thought I was right-handed. No one knew I was left-handed.
Yeah.
They're all morons. They'd all force me left. I'm like, you guys are stupid. You guys are toast. I get in the paint and do a drop step left-handed hook shot all day.
Yeah.
I was 15 feet in on the baseline. I was deadly.
Yeah.
Deadly. My junior year, we played Oxford Hills down there, and we were down by 1. I hit a shot at the buzzer to win by 1 on the baseline. Dave Johnson drove. Everyone went at him. I hit a baseline jumper at the buzzer, and we won by a point.
Yeah.
And that was against my old coach at Nokomis. It wasn't DeFrederico, it was somebody, I can't remember his name, but he had me when I was little, and he was like, he was screaming, "Don't leave him open." I was wide open, hit the jumper to win, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was my only game winner ever.
Yeah.
We weren't very good though. Like, we won 7 games my junior year at Brewer, and then my senior year we won 4 games. And then the 2 years I leave Nokomis, they go to the tournament both years in a row for the first time in like 20 years. So I always said me leaving made them better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they had all kinds of success, and I didn't. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember I was so pissed watching them on TV in the tournament. I was fucking sitting at home, all fucking mad, like so
Yeah.
pissed off. But,
Yeah.
oh well,
Yeah.
oh well, it's all good.
Yeah.
I did. I won a men's league title once, so there you go. I won something.
Yeah. I mean, I have my 1999 free throw championship trophy in the other room.
You know what? I think I got rid of all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
That's
care.
my prized possession. So,
Like, like all my varsity letters and stuff, those are all gone. Like,
yeah.
you know, Big East, all like honorable mention for the Big East teams, like and shit, all that shit's gone.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only year I should have made the all Big East team was my junior year, but Tim Hughes made it over me instead. So I had a horrible senior year. So
Yeah.
we weren't very good. My heart wasn't in it. Like I played with a bunch of guards, and I played with a bunch of kids that just didn't care. And you know my class. My class didn't give a fuck
Yeah.
about anything. So it's hard when you were a captain, but you didn't say a whole. I didn't say anything to anybody. I just kind of led by example. But then you get tired of leading by example because no one follows you. So
Yeah.
you know, you know when you get blown out by 30 to Coney, and you have kids doing shrooms on the bus on the way home, like why even bother?
Yeah. Right.
Like, and then the year before you had Coney beat in Coney, and they were the number one team in the state at halftime, and you end up losing by 30. We ended up losing by 25. That was my junior year.
Holy shit.
We were winning at halftime by like 4 or 5. We came out. I think we scored probably 15 points the whole second half, and got blown out by 25.
Yeah.
But Coney had a pit, and the fan sat on top of you, and then overhang. So like the fucking place was not the put. It was such a hard place to play, and
Yeah.
they did a full court trap, and they adjusted it at halftime. We didn't make any adjustments, and we got fucking blown out. I had all that game footage too. I don't know what I did with it.
Yeah.
I had all those tapes. I don't know where they are.
I think they're all behind glass in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll
The
never.
Bride.
Yeah. I'll never go in that Hall of Fame. Come on. The only way to do that is if I become a Brewer coach, like a legit coach instead of an esports coach, then maybe. But I doubt it.
Yeah.
So I don't have the patience.
Yeah.
I don't even want to coach my girls team who's going to be 9. I don't even want to do that. But I signed up for that this year. We'll see if they pick me or not. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't have, and it's not the kids, it's more the parents. I don't want to deal with fucking stupid parents.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't want to deal with
every parent thinks their kids, the next Michael Jordan, and
right.
Yeah. So
I just don't want to deal with it. Like, basketball's changed so much since you and I played.
Yeah.
It's all 3-pointers now.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. When I made the joke, like, hey, remember when people used to offensive rebound? It's like, seriously, it's like people, they all go down, gun a 3, and then just run back if they miss it. And so, there's no offensive rebounding anymore.
There was never any offensive plays for me in my 3 years of varsity at Nokomis and Brewer. I scored my points in offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
And junk fucking plays, like a loose ball.
Yep.
There's nobody diving on the floor anymore. There's no one playing defense. It's you come down, you huck a 3.
Yeah.
A fast break now is a 3-point shot. It's not a layup.
Yeah, right. And but yeah, the games are played like all-star games now, where it's just basically like nobody gives a shit. Like no defense, everyone just fucking go shoot. And
right. People like you and myself playing now in this environment wouldn't make it because we wouldn't be able to be on the floor because we're too slow.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on us. It's just how it is. I couldn't, if I was in high school now in my size and how much I weighed back then, I wouldn't see the floor because I couldn't keep up with everybody.
Yeah.
And my game was different. My game was defense, and then my game was offensive rebounding. And there's not a lot of that anymore. So
yeah.
I mean, I'd be like sixth or seventh man and probably never see the floor.
Yeah.
As I got older, I mean, I developed a 3-point shot, but I mean, that was because I had to. But Brewer Men's League, baby, back in the day.
Yeah.
Cash money at the rec.
Yeah.
Playing on the WS Emerson team.
Yeah.
That was some fun times.
Who did that? Did Ray Alley play on that team?
Ray Alley had his own team.
Oh, okay.
Ray Alley was with Rick Sinclair. And a bunch of other guys like Q from Husson and a bunch of those guys. And then Mark Reed had a team with all the guys from Dean's Car Care. Ben Goodwin played with Troy Goodrich and oh God, I forget. If I saw him, I'd know who he was. Doug Timms.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I played with John Vickery Jr. And all those older guys. Jeremy Howard was on our team.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quite the times back in the Brewer Rec days.
Yeah, I bet. Good times.
I played with Chris Hoare.
Yep.
Chris Hoare actually came to my house when I graduated high school and said, "Can you come play men's league with us?" I was like, "Really? Yeah." He's like, "I need you on my men's league team." Okay. Yeah. When's our game? Tonight. Oh, okay.
Grab my shoes.
I forget who he was with. Chris Hoare, me, and some guy that was really good that played then. He drank a lot though. He was a really good. I can't remember his name. He was a really good basketball player. Maybe his last name was Smith. I can't remember.
Hmm.
He was really good. I can't remember his name. When I see Chris Hoare when basketball starts, I'll ask him. He'll know because he's still coaching the girls at Brewer. Yeah, he is. So yeah. Well, way to go down memory lane for the last 10 minutes. Makes you feel good and also sad.
Yeah, yeah.
But I did get to play I did get to play on the Bangor Auditorium floor though. It was in preseason stuff.
Yeah, still.
And I saw wrestling there a bunch of times, so it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. It's
just never played. Just never played there when it counted. I was in the crowd a lot for stuff, but I never was on that floor during tournament time. So
yeah,
maybe someday I'll make it there if I become a coach, but probably not.
Yeah. Who knows? We're still young.
I don't think I want to coach my kid though. Like, I don't even want to coach her now.
I don't even want to parent her.
Oh, I don't mind that. But you know what I mean, though? Like,
yeah. No, I wouldn't want to do it. So
it's hard to coach your kid.
Yeah.
Because I want to be harder on her than anybody else, and that's not fair to her.
Right.
Then I'm gonna get shit from home at home. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
I get enough trouble, so I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, we're done with memory lane because wrestling's coming on, so we're gonna go. Thanks for watching, and we will record sometime next week. God only knows when, but we'll do it because we love our 3 fans. So thank you for watching.
Yeah.